What could happen if we take our workforce to new heights? Workforce on the Mic, presented by untapped, brings you inspirational stories, innovative solutions, and expert insights that are shaping the future of the workforce. Tune in for dynamic conversations that motivate and transform the workforce development community. And now, on to the episode.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all you workforce warriors across the country. My name is Alexis Franks, and I am your Director of Membership with the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals. And today, we are still live at the 2024 Youth Symposium here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are glad to be here today. The energy is continuing to be electric, and we're sharing it. So we're happy to have with us today Darrell Green, one of our key speakers of this week's conference. Darrell, welcome to you.
Well, I'm glad to have been a part of all of this and to be with you as well today.
Yes, we're glad to have you. So we have some great conversations that have happened this week. This morning's panel was absolutely inspirational with all of those key players for how you're really looking at bringing workforce services together to impact youth across the country, specifically the work you're doing down in Georgia. So we were grateful to hear about that. So I just have a couple of questions for you. Again, not going to take too much of your time. But can you share a little bit about your journey from the NFL to the workforce development arena?
Well, in the NFL, which I played quite a long time, and I was only played in one city, so 20 years in one city, and now 41 years in that same city, Washington, D.C., which we call the DMV.
Yes, sir.
But early on, I began to work with youth, started off with the recreation department, went on to create my own learning centers, my own foundation, which still exists today, and so that's been my world. But when I retired from the NFL, I wanted to kind of grow up and be a big boy one day. And so I started a company called Trusted Solutions Group. And I wanted to focus on the adults. I was working with, and I still do today, I work with children. I mean, kindergartners, first grade, all the way through college. But that was mostly spiritual, social, academic, all of those aspects of what I call the revelation that I had was that every kid needs love and nurture. They need provision. They need education, and they need to know the golden rule. And that's basically homeschool, church, and government. That's basically what that boils down to. And that's been my experience. I was on the food stamps. My mom gave the love and nurture, and the church taught us what was right from wrong, and we went to public school. So it wasn't some brain surgery stuff, but that's what really got me in it. But when I retired, I wanted to get into business, but I wasn't going to leave my true heart. So I started a workforce company myself right in Washington, D.C. Interestingly enough, I, having been new to the business, I didn't really know how really to do it. But ultimately, as we launched off, we ended up working with a lot of young men and women right from the city, and a lot of them were ex-offenders. It wasn't our strategy, but that's John told Mike, who told Kenny, who told Debbie, and that's what their connection was.
Yeah.
And so we were working a lot with these individuals, and we were primarily, we didn't have the training part of it. Mm-hmm. We got you soft skill, work ready as a human. Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you very much. We were working with that part of the human part of people. And then we allowed the companies to take that next step. And so that's how I got my, feet wet in this arena. But in the recent years, just being introduced to Eckerd Connects and all the real world of this and what you guys do, of course, it's just blown me away. But I'm not way out there because it's where I've been, from my own childhood to working with youth and throughout my career, and then what I learned. So I really kicked myself because I didn't know. It's so much that I didn't know. Even though when I was a kid, kids went to Job Corps. I remember that.
Right.
And of course, I had a chance to MC the 60th anniversary of Job Corps. And so, but I'm still kicking myself like, man, this is so me. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be involved with. And of course, here at this symposium, it's the Youth Symposium where we're talking you're talking 16 to 24 primarily. That's my world.
Absolutely.
And so, no, it's been great. But the journey it's just part of my life. It's just it's who I am. Yeah.
I love that. I love that connection for our youth today. We just talked about it earlier this week. There's so many challenges they're facing that maybe we didn't face when we were their age. And now we're coming up with new ways to approach them and make it more than just about work, but really impacting their life. And I see that in the structure that you brought in your own world and from your own perspective and experience for our youth to take advantage of. So that's awesome. So what really inspired you to start focusing on empowering young men and women now?
As I said, I think that my life it's one continuation of one life, so whether it was someone doing something for us as children or my mom making us do something for others, if you serve as a child or you see it as a child, you'll do it as an adult. And so I did get that from my mom, I think, really sincerely. But, I think for me, and I make no apologies for this, I don't apologize for the fact that business and service can marry each other. So I'm a nonprofit and I'm a for-profit. And within the context of that, we do all of it. We do it all. Sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. And I don't apologize for that. I think that that's the way I've approached it all along, because at the end of the day, you have to know who's on the inside, what's on the inside of you, and the integrity that you live with and the commitment that you live with every day, I think is always on display. And so for me, I'm in many ways, I'm behind the eight ball, and I'm behind, meaning just meeting the Eckerd Connect and what they were doing with all the workforce side, as well as the Job Corps side. I'm like, what? I mean, I dream of this. I didn't understand this. I didn't know this. That exists. What? You telling me that exists? Yeah. And so it's exciting to have the opportunity to get in it where the real people are doing the real stuff when you talk about the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals. Yes, I never heard that conversation. Right. I never was in that. They never invited me to that. But so to be here now, I'm like, God, I'm like a kid in the candy store and seeing this sea of people. And this is not the whole world. This is one conference. And it's really impacted me. It's really impacted me even more. But no, so I'm really excited about it. And for me, people, of course, they identify me. I guess they probably should. I played 20 years in the NFL. I've had a great career, but thank you very much. But I'm interested in more things.
In this work. Yes, absolutely. And we hear it all the time. Workforce is one of the best kept secrets.
That's the way to put it.
You're bringing the light to it. And I think the more that we have the opportunity and the environment and the space to come to say, we're here and doing this work. So we appreciate you.
I'm the Eckerd ambassador. I'm about to get out there and ambassador.
That's right.
I'm about to be the diplomat.
Okay.
Get it out there.
You are taking me right to my last question for you. So with your role with Eckerd Connects, their first national ambassador, how does that align with your passion for workforce development?
Yeah. So as you said earlier, I said first that I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? They didn't know, and they don't know, and they don't know, and they don't know. And those days are not just workforce professionals. Those days are the students. So it's both. And fortunately, I am positioned where I do have influence. I have access. I have resources. And so I can access people who we're looking for, both on the workforce side or on the training side. So that's going to be really what I'm going to be touting my horn for Eckerd. And we do a number of things. We have our fun Hall of Fame and our Job Corps Hall of Fame, and we go back and find those young people who have done really well. And we talked about in our session today, the last piece was second to last was impact, and the next one was next steps. But just to touch on this whole idea of impact, that's the whole key. how big of an impact, how big of a visibility do we have? And I'm excited to say, good or bad, there's a lot of room up there still. Lots of room we can still reach.
Absolutely.
But yet we've done a lot. You guys have done a lot, should I say? They've done a lot. So I can't own it, but I'm gonna be an owner one day. You know, I feel like I'm gonna have a bigger piece in this. And even though I've had my own work and done a lot of great things, but I'm not you all. You guys are. I'm proud of what you all are doing and the leadership that you're bringing.
Well, we definitely, as a workforce community, appreciate your support and everything that you're bringing to help impact youth and workforce programs. And here at Workforce on the Mic, presented by NODUP, we always have mic drop moments. So I think you gave us ours for today. We've got room to grow. We've got to be visible and make that impact. And if there's anything all of our workforce development professionals, our listeners from today's episode can take from this conversation with you, the Darrell Green, is we've got room to grow. Let's grow. Let's make that impact on these young people. Darrell, thank you so much for taking just a few minutes away from the conference, away from your busy schedule to be with us, to share your experience and how you've come into the workforce arena. Welcome to the family, the workforce family.
Thank you. I'm officially welcomed in.
Yes, sir.
I'll take that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And we're looking forward to future conversations with you. And enjoy the rest of the conference.
I certainly will. And I look forward. You're exactly right. Let's do this again.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Workforce on the Mic, presented by NODUP. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about NODUP and to become a member, visit www.nodup.org. That's www.nawdp.org.